Hi, friends. I want to pop on today. I know it's Saturday. I don't usually do the morning show, but we are going to leave the week of hydration and talking about hydration. So, I wanted to talk about coffee before we walk away from hydrating because it's a question I get a lot. And the question is, can I count coffee towards my hydration? And my answer to that is yes and no and maybe. So let me tell you my reasoning and then you can make your own conclusion. So here's the deal with coffee. Coffee has about 100 milligrams per cup for a regular brewed coffee. So if you're having obviously an espresso or something with a higher caffeine, the content will be higher. And it is recommended that humans only consume 400 milligrams of caffeine a day. Now, that recommendation is based on someone with healthy adrenals. And the adrenal glands, they are our stress glands. They control our stress response, our fight, flight, or freeze. They also are very, very important for thyroid health. So if you're here in this group, it's because you are having symptoms. You're either on thyroid medication or you're having thyroid symptoms. You can't get your doctor to either run the right testing or get you a diagnosis. If that's happening, there's a very, very good chance that your adrenals are completely exhausted because the thyroid, when the thyroid's not working, the adrenals will pick up and try to keep us moving and motivated. And they do that through adrenaline and cortisol and different hormones that they put out. So over time, they get very, very tired. Adrenal fatigue is the word, adrenal exhaustion, weak adrenals. I see this in many, many thyroid cases. And that's because the body has been trying to keep up with either an infection in the gut, hormone imbalances, you can name it. But those are the main things I'm looking for is the infections in the gut, mold, yeast, bacteria, fungus. What those will do is cause the adrenals to work overtime and become exhausted. So, if you're in that state, if you're in the state where you are experiencing exhaustion, specifically between 2 and 4 p.m., if you're feeling really tired, having that crash where you're like, oh, I need sugar, I need caffeine, I need some pick me up, it's a good indication your adrenals aren't working well. Another indication would be if you're waking up between 2 and 4 a.m., that tells us your adrenals aren't working well. If you startle easily, I see this a lot where it's like, your kid walks in a door and you're like, ah, that's an indication your adrenals aren't working well. If you're having problems with night vision, again, an adrenal symptom. If you're retaining fluid or if you put water in and you immediately have to pee, great indication your adrenals aren't working. So I'm telling you all of this because if you're having these symptoms, that means you should not be doing caffeine. And I'm talking the 400 milligrams that's recommended by the government, the 400 milligrams of max caffeine consumption, that's for a healthy individual with healthy adrenals. So if you're in that category, I don't recommend that you even get near 400. Now, that being said, I know that coffee for many people is a habit and a love. It's something you do. So we can settle on coffee before 9 a.m. Your adrenals are already starting to work hard in the morning. They're doing this little cortisol curve. If you do coffee before 9 a.m., you're going to hit the curve when it's already coming up, assuming that your adrenals are still doing that. We'll be talking more about that in future videos. So if you do coffee, please do it before 9 a.m. I would prefer you keep it to 1 cup. That's going to be about 100 milligrams of caffeine. And if that's the scenario, yeah, count that as your fluid because it is fluid. There's a lot of myths out there about caffeine being a diuretic, meaning that it peels fluid off of you. Kind of true if you have a healthy adrenal. So, caffeine will stimulate the adrenals, and then the adrenals will send out hormones that make you pee out extra fluid. Absolutely. That will happen if your adrenals are working. So, a lot of my clients will say things like, well, I'll drink coffee and nothing happens. I can have an energy drink before bed and not even feel it. That's right. It's because your adrenals aren't responding to stimulus anymore. That's a problem. So, if you are in that boat, then please don't be drinking a lot of coffee. It is going to cause a bigger problem. It also can upset some of the gut flora, and we can run into issues with other things. So, you can count your coffee as hydration if you have it before 9 a.m. and if you keep it to 1 cup. Later in the day, I'm fine with green tea. Green tea has about 30 milligrams of caffeine. I love green tea. I do about 2 cups a day. Green tea also has tons of antioxidants, polyphenols that feed the good bacteria in the gut. So I do recommend green tea. I don't, though, recommend it later in the day. So if you're going to have it, maybe have it before 2 p.m., probably like 4 or 5 at the latest, because again, that can stimulate the adrenals, that can mess up your sleep cycles. So keep that earlier in the day. So to answer the question, yes, you can have coffee before 9 a.m. Yes, you can count it towards your liquid if you have healthy adrenals. If not, then I would recommend that you skip coffee entirely. If you're not sure if you have healthy adrenals, well, then we need to test. So, one of my favorite things about the organic acids test is it tells us from your urine sample how well your adrenals are working. And my most recent test I did on myself, it showed that my adrenals are like flatlined. So that was really good information for me. I'm currently working on supplementing my adrenal function because that will improve my thyroid function. And that is kind of the order we have to go. And I see people a lot of times try to increase thyroid function. So they'll raise their thyroid dose, they'll take a thyroid supplement, and they'll feel worse. And it's because those adrenals are already bottomed out. So we need that information before we even touch the thyroid. We need to see what's going on with the adrenals. So if you want to learn more about that, check out my masterclass. I'll put the link with this video. And then after the masterclass, you can schedule a time to chat with me or with my assistant, Angie, and we can talk about how to get you tested, how to get you feeling awesome, because this is our year. All right. Have a happy Saturday. I'll talk to you on Monday.